O Lord, in the profound hush of this new dawn, before the world's insistent clamor begins to stir, we stand at the threshold of another day. There's a peculiar stillness that often accompanies these pre-dawn moments, a quiet that can either cradle us in peace or amplify the subtle anxieties that lie beneath the surface of our waking minds. For many, this is a time when the weight of yesterday's burdens, the unresolved questions, and the looming challenges of the hours ahead can feel most acutely present. It's a quiet battle fought within, a wrestling with the unseen currents of worry and uncertainty even before our feet touch the floor. We find ourselves, perhaps, with a heart already heavy, a spirit already weary, contemplating the endless list of tasks, the difficult conversations, the unexpected trials that might greet us. This quiet space, intended for rest and renewal, can instead become a crucible where fears are forged and the lightness of being is replaced by a creeping sense of dread. Yet, what if this very moment, this sacred sliver of time before the sun crests the horizon, held the key to unlocking not just endurance, but boundless joy and unwavering peace for the entire day? What if the first conscious breath, the very first thought, could be intentionally surrendered, transformed from a sigh of resignation into an anthem of gratitude? Imagine a different beginning, one where the subtle anxiety of the pre-dawn stillness is not merely endured, but profoundly transformed by a deliberate act of turning our hearts towards the divine. Your word, O God, whispers to us in the quiet depths of our souls, reminding us that your mercies are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. Lamentations 3:22-33. This isn't just a comforting thought, it's a profound promise, an invitation to step into a fresh outpouring of grace, a new wellspring of strength that awaits us with each rising sun. Consider the profound shift that occurs when, instead of reaching for our devices or rushing into the day's demands, we choose to reach you, our Creator, our Sustainer. Visually, envision the soft nascent light beginning to fill a quiet space, perhaps a bedroom, slowly illuminating a face that, just moments before, bore the subtle lines of weariness, now gently shifting into contemplation. Hands, once perhaps clenched in unconscious tension, now rest, clasped in quiet reverence, mirroring an internal stillness. This is not merely the adoption of a routine, it is a profound energetic recalibration of our very being. The warmth of rising sunbeams touching our skin can become a tangible reflection of an internal spiritual awakening, a conscious choice to align our spirit with your divine light. It is a moment of profound intention, where the act of offering thanks becomes a powerful declaration, a foundational stone laid for the day ahead. This sacred start, this deliberate act of choosing gratitude and turning to you, Father, sets in motion a ripple effect that extends far beyond these quiet morning moments. It's an empowerment, a spiritual equipping that prepares us to navigate through the day's complexities with a grace that is not our own, but divinely bestowed. Challenges, instead of becoming stumbling blocks, begin to transform into opportunities for growth, for deeper reliance on your wisdom, and for a profound deepening of our faith. We are invited into a journey where the initial whisper of thanksgiving becomes a resounding declaration, where the gentle calm washes over a soul intentionally choosing you, transforming the very fabric of our daily existence. This is the promise, the potential that awaits us as we consecrate the very first moments of our day to you. It's an invitation to experience a radical shift, moving from a spirit burdened by fear to one radiant with resilience, living in constant, conscious communion with the ever-present, guiding light of your Holy Spirit. And so we turn our hearts to you, expectant and open, ready to receive the fullness of your protective power. Indeed, as we journey through the unfolding narrative of our existence, a profound truth emerges from the sacred texts, establishing an unshakable bedrock for our confidence. The unequivocal declaration that God Himself stands as our formidable champion. Consider the timeless echo of the Apostle Paul's triumphant cry, "If God is for us, who can be against us?" Romans 8:31. This isn't merely a rhetorical question. It is a definitive pronouncement, a divine decree that fundamentally reorients our perception of any opposition we might encounter. It strips away the illusion of power from every adversary, whether visible or unseen, tangible or insidious. The very essence of this scriptural cornerstone is that the creator of the cosmos, the orchestrator of galaxies, has personally committed to our defense, to our upliftment, and to our ultimate victory. This truth transcends mere intellectual assent. It demands a deep, visceral acceptance that reshapes our internal landscape, transforming apprehension into an audacious certainty. Furthermore, this divine commitment extends beyond passive protection. It signifies an active, relentless engagement on our behalf. Picture a sovereign general leading his elite forces into battle, not from a distant command post, but at the very vanguard, personally confronting the enemy lines. This is the vivid imagery painted across countless biblical accounts. God as the one who fights for His people, who intervenes decisively in human affairs, and who orchestrates circumstances to bring about His perfect will. When He declares Himself to be our shield and our fortress, it implies an impregnable defense, a spiritual bulwark against which the most vehement assaults of darkness are utterly powerless. No stratagem of the enemy, no whispered lie, no orchestrated attack can breach the sanctity of His protective presence once we choose to anchor ourselves firmly within His unwavering embrace. Consequently, this foundational truth liberates us from the exhausting burden of self-preservation in the face of daunting odds. We are no longer called to fight our battles in isolation, to muster insufficient strength against overwhelming spiritual forces. Instead, we are invited to witness the magnificent spectacle of divine intervention, to observe as the Lord of hosts routs the very forces that seek to undermine our peace, derail our purpose, or diminish our spirit. Think of the ancient narratives: the parting of the Red Sea, the crumbling walls of Jericho, the solitary shepherd boy confronting a giant. In each instance, it was not human might or strategic genius that secured the triumph, but the undeniable, irresistible power of God, actively interceding on behalf of His chosen. This historical precedent serves as an enduring testament, a living proof that with His intervention, no enemy, regardless of its perceived might or cunning, can ultimately prevail against the one whom God Himself champions. Moreover, this divine backing empowers us to stand resilient amidst the swirling currents of life's unpredictable storms. When the winds of adversity howl and the waves of tribulation threaten to engulf us, the believer, grounded in this scriptural certainty, possesses an inner fortitude that defies external circumstances. It is the profound assurance that even when our own strength falters or our resolve wavers, God remains steadfast, His hand outstretched, His power undiminished. He not only defends us from our enemies, but also uplifts us through our trials, transforming potential defeats into stepping stones for greater spiritual maturity and deeper intimacy with Him. This is the promise of exaltation even in the valley, of finding strength precisely where weakness was expected. Building on this, however, the concept of divine intervention is not a passive waiting game, but an active partnership. It calls us to declare this truth over our lives, to speak it into existence, to embody the confidence that comes from knowing the victor stands with us. This means acknowledging that every challenge we face, every obstacle that arises, is already subject to His ultimate authority. The enemy's schemes, though they may appear formidable in the moment, are ultimately futile against the one who holds all power and dominion. This understanding shifts our posture from one of defense to one of confident advance, knowing that we are marching forward under an invincible banner led by an undefeated king. Therefore, let this scriptural bedrock permeate every fiber of your being. Let the resounding truth that God is for you and that no foe can ultimately stand against him become the very air you breathe. It is a clarion call to shed the garments of fear and uncertainty and to don instead the armor of his truth, knowing that his commitment to defend and uplift you is as eternal and unchanging as his very nature. Rest assured, with the Lord of armies fighting on your behalf, the outcome is never in doubt. Your victory is not merely a hope, it is a divine certainty secured by the omnipotence of your God. Reflecting on this journey through the quiet depths of our initial appeal and the resonant echoes of divine promises, a profound realization begins to coalesce. We have traversed a landscape where the subtle anxieties of dawn yield to an intentional, heartfelt turning, where ancient assurances of an ever-present protector are not merely intellectual tenets, but vibrant, living truths. It is as if individual threads, each imbued with singular strength, have been meticulously woven together, forming a fabric of spiritual resilience unlike any other. This is not a mere accumulation of insights, but rather a profound synthesis, a convergence where separate streams of understanding now flow into a singular, powerful current, propelling us forward. The very air we breathe seems to carry a different resonance, tinged with an awareness of a higher order, a deeper purpose, and an undeniable guardianship that transcends the visible realm. In light of these converging insights, the path forward illuminates itself with remarkable clarity. The recognition of a benevolent hand guiding and guarding, a force far greater than any earthly challenge, transforms the very texture of our daily existence. It shifts our perspective from navigating a perilous landscape alone to journeying alongside an invincible ally. This understanding fosters an internal fortification, a quiet but potent strength that simply is. It is the deep-seated knowledge that battles waged, whether against inner whispers of doubt or external pressures, are not ours to fight in isolation. This realization alone acts as a powerful solvent, dissolving the tight knots of apprehension that often constrict the heart and mind, allowing for a freedom to breathe, to hope, and to engage with life from a place of profound inner peace. As we pivot towards the final reflection, consider the cumulative effect of embracing these truths. The intentional morning surrender, the unwavering belief in divine advocacy, the courageous confrontation of internal shadows, and the constant affirmation of an all-encompassing shield. It cultivates not just a momentary calm, but a pervasive state of being, where every step taken, every decision made, is infused with inherent trust. This is the essence of a life unburdened by the relentless grip of fear, where challenges once looming large are recontextualized, viewed not as insurmountable barriers, but as opportunities for the divine to manifest its power. It is a transition from merely believing in a protective presence to living within that presence, experiencing its tangible reality in the minutiae of everyday life. This journey of understanding culminates in a profound recalibration of our spiritual compass. The quiet strength derived from consciously aligning with the divine in those nascent hours of the day radiates outward, influencing every interaction and circumstance. It is akin to setting an unshakable anchor in the calmest part of the ocean, allowing the vessel of our lives to withstand the fiercest storms without being capsized. The external tumult may persist, the waves may still crash, but the inner core remains steady, resilient, and profoundly connected to an inexhaustible source of peace and power. This integrated awareness, this holistic embrace of our divine heritage, propels us beyond mere survival into a realm of vibrant, purposeful living. The implications of this synthesis are far-reaching, hinting at a transformative potential that extends beyond individual serenity to touch every facet of our being. It underscores a fundamental truth that the capacity for boundless joy and unwavering peace is not an elusive ideal, but an attainable reality, forged in the crucible of intentional communion and steadfast faith. This is the profound invitation woven throughout our exploration, leading us to the threshold of a new way of engaging with the world, one rooted in an unshakable conviction that we are not adrift, but held, guided, and ultimately victorious. It is a testament to the power of a heart truly yielded, a spirit truly awakened, and a life lived in conscious, continuous alignment with the divine. The culmination of these insights beckons us to embrace a reality where faith is not just a concept, but the very breath of our existence, animating every moment with purpose and grace. As the gentle light of dawn gives way to the full embrace of the day, we stand at the culmination of a profound journey, one that has led us from the quiet anxieties of the pre-dawn stillness to the radiant certainty of a spirit anchored in divine grace. We have explored how the deliberate choice to infuse our very first moments with gratitude and intentional communion can utterly transform the landscape of our daily lives. This is not merely a fleeting emotion or a perfunctory ritual. It is a fundamental recalibration of our being, a conscious decision to align our inner world with the boundless peace and unwavering joy that flow from the heart of the divine. The subtle shift from weariness to gentle contemplation, from apprehension to quiet reverence, mirrors an internal awakening, a profound spiritual emergence that sets the tone for every subsequent breath and action. This sacred beginning, rooted in a conscious turning towards the Creator, is the key that unlocks a life lived not in reaction to circumstance, but in proactive, empowered harmony with a higher purpose. The culmination of these insights beckons us to embrace a reality where faith is not just a concept, but the very breath of our existence, animating every moment with purpose and grace. As the gentle light of dawn gives way to the full embrace of the day, we stand at the culmination of a profound journey, one that has led us from the quiet anxieties of the pre-dawn stillness to the radiant certainty of a spirit anchored in divine grace. We have explored how the deliberate choice to infuse our very first moments with gratitude and intentional communion can utterly transform the landscape of our daily lives. This is not merely a fleeting emotion or a perfunctory ritual. It is a fundamental recalibration of our being, a conscious decision to align our inner world with the boundless peace and unwavering joy that flow from the heart of the divine. The subtle shift from weariness to gentle contemplation, from apprehension to quiet reverence, mirrors an internal awakening, a profound spiritual emergence that sets the tone for every subsequent breath and action. This sacred beginning, rooted in a conscious turning towards the Creator, is the key that unlocks a life lived not in reaction to circumstance, but in proactive, empowered harmony with a higher purpose.
The true genius of this practice lies in its ripple effect, extending far beyond the initial moments of prayer. It is the unseen force that empowers us to navigate the intricate complexities of the day with an astonishing grace, transforming what might otherwise be perceived as insurmountable challenges into fertile ground for growth and deeper faith. When our spirit is already saturated with gratitude and fortified by a direct connection to the source of all strength, the external world loses its power to overwhelm. Difficult conversations are approached with a newfound calm. Unexpected obstacles are met with resilient adaptability, and the mundane becomes infused with a sacred significance. This isn't about the absence of trials, but about the presence of an unwavering companion within them, turning every moment into an opportunity to witness divine intervention and to experience the practical outworking of God's protective love. This journey culminates in the cultivation of a radiant, resilient spirit, one that is truly unburdened by the pervasive grip of fear. When every breath becomes a conscious testament to an ever-present guiding light, the anxieties that once whispered in the quiet of the morning lose their dominion. We move from merely believing in a protective presence to actively living within that presence, experiencing conscious communion not as an abstract concept, but as the vibrant, lived reality of our existence. This constant, intimate connection fosters an inner sanctuary, an impregnable fortress of peace that no external storm can breach. It redefines our relationship with the world, allowing us to engage with its complexities from a place of profound inner freedom and unshakable confidence, knowing that we are held, guided, and championed by an omnipotent love. The ultimate insight gleaned from this exploration is that the transformative power we seek is not found in grand gestures or elaborate theological debates, but in the profound simplicity of a yielded heart in the quiet dawn. It is in that initial choice, to turn, to thank, to surrender, that the very fabric of our reality begins to shift. Faith then transcends a mere belief system. It becomes the animating force of our daily lives, a dynamic and vibrant reality that informs every decision, illuminates every path, and empowers every step. It is the palpable experience of walking hand in hand with the divine, where every challenge becomes a testament to His faithfulness and every victory a celebration of His unending grace. This is the promise that awaits those who dare to dedicate their first moments to the one who makes all things new, discovering that the key to boundless joy and unwavering peace was always within reach, hidden in plain sight in the sacred space between stillness and awakening. And so, the true practice begins now. It is an invitation not just to reflect upon these truths, but to embody them, to integrate them into the very rhythm of your existence. Let each morning be a deliberate act of spiritual recalibration, a conscious ascent into the radiant presence that awaits you. Allow the warmth of the rising sunbeams to perpetually mirror an internal spiritual awakening, fostering a resilient spirit unburdened by fear, living in constant, conscious communion. For in this ongoing journey, where every breath becomes a testament to an ever-present guiding light, you will discover that faith is not merely a belief, but the most vibrant, lived reality, transforming your life from the inside out, one grateful dawn at a time.